Hello there and welcome. Do you have any idea what the three major problems are amongst us as people anywhere in the globe? Let me tell you. Number one is money. Number two is a weight problem. And number three is sex. People have just poor relationships. And you know, they've tried and they've tried and they've tried to change it, but they don't know how. And unfortunately, after a few tries and you miss, they give up. I want to share something with you that is just mind-blowing when you think of it. Look at these two men. Do you know who they are? Most people don't. They're just a couple of ordinary guys. One, they're both gone now, but one was an ordinary beekeeper in Auckland, New Zealand, and the other a Sherpa guide from over around Nepal. Now, there's Mount Everest. Do you know for thousands of years, people had tried to get to the top of Mount Everest. People died doing it. It was believed it couldn't be done. People tried, but they didn't know how, and so they quit. There's a closer look at the mountain and where they placed their flag. They planted that flag in the mountain. Now, this is the two of them after they come down the mountain. And you know something? When they started, they did not know how. They didn't know how to get to the top of the mountain. And that's what stops most people because they don't know how. As little kids, we'd go, Mommy, Daddy, I want this. And they say, now, how are you going to do that? Well, as a little kid, you don't know how to do it. But they did it. In 1953, on the 29th of May, they were the first two to get to the top of that mountain. They stood right on top of the world. Do you know there's been over 1,000 people do it since then? I watched a young woman on Canadian television being interviewed, not very big. She had just come back from going to the top of Mount Everest. And the reporter asked her, they said, how does it feel now that you conquered the mountain? She said, we didn't conquer the mountain. That mountain can't be conquered. We conquered the limitations that are within ourselves. Look at this monument. Do you recognize the monument? You know, we all should. I didn't the first time I saw it. That's the Edison monument over in Ohio. And you know, Edison illuminated the world, but when he set out, he didn't know how he was going to do it. Can you imagine him telling some of his friends or even his wife or his relatives what he was doing? They would have thought he was right out of his mind. He did not know how, but he knew he was going to do it. Now, understand this. Edison wasn't the brightest cat in town. He got fired from the first couple of jobs he had. He failed 1,000 times. A reporter asked him one time, how do you feel that you failed 1,000 times? He said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. Come here. He said, there was 1,000 steps to this invention. What a great attitude. You see, just because you don't know how, that doesn't mean you can't do it. I'm talking about ordinary people like you, like me. Look at this. He had an idea in his mind, and he held on to the idea. You won't know how you're going to do something until after you do it. Do you know these two guys? A couple of ordinary guys. That's right. Just a couple of young bicycle mechanics. But you know something? They introduced us to an entirely new kingdom. They changed the face of the world. See, the world's not big. The world's small. Why? Because of our communication methods today and how we can move around. But you know something? When they started to fly, they did not know how. In fact, no one believed they could do it. They thought they were right out of their mind. Just a couple of bicycle mechanics, but they did it back in 1903. You know, there's a picture of President John Kennedy and Dr. Wernher von Braun. When Kennedy asked Dr. Wernher von Braun what it would take to build a rocket that would carry a person to the moon and bring him back safely to Earth, von Braun just said the will to do it. You know something? They didn't know how they were going to do it. You don't have to know how. Do you know what you have to know? You have to know where you're going, and you have to know you're going to get there. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I'm going to put out 3 short videos, and they're going to wake you up to the fact that you can have the amount of money you want. If you have a weight problem, you can eliminate the weight. And if you're having difficulty with relationships, I guarantee I'm going to show you how to solve it. Now look at Andrew Carnegie is an old mentor of mine. I never met him, but I've studied all his material. He said any idea that is held in the mind, that's emphasized, that's either feared or revered, begins at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. Now, hook that idea up with what Buckminster Fuller had to say. He said, never change things by fighting existing reality. To change things, you build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. Now, come here for a minute. What do you really want? How much money do you really want to earn? You see, I didn't always know this information. I got it a long time ago. But my income went from $4,000 to $175,000 a year, and then it went over $1 million. I have never had a weight problem, and quite frankly, I have never had a problem with relationships. But I do know to develop a meaningful relationship, to live in the body that you want to live in, it's your body. You can control the weight of it. Oh, I know a lot of people tell you can't. But you know something? 97% of the population are locked into the idea of trying to figure out how does it work. You don't have to know how it works. You only have to know it works. Now, in these 3 videos, I'm going to take you through 3 stages. First of all, I want you to stop and think, what do I really want? If it's money you want, how much money? Just make a decision on what it is you want. If it's weight, get the idea that you want to be at your perfect weight, looking good and feeling great. And if it's relationships, what kind of a relationship do you really want? Listen, there's 3% of the population have always known how to make this happen. 97% of the population are talking to each other. They're saying, what do you think, Harry? Harry doesn't know. Harry's never known. You know, you've got to get it from somebody who knows what they're talking about. I do know. I know how this works. I don't know much else, but I don't want to know anything else. This is really where I focused, and I've focused on it for a long time. You're going to love these videos. When you start getting them, pay attention to them. Watch this video over and over and over again and understand. Ed Hillary was an ordinary beekeeper in Auckland, New Zealand. Where did he ever get the idea he could go to the top of Mount Everest? For thousands of years, people have believed that it couldn't be done. Do you know there's people encased in ice up there that tried to get, they couldn't get there. They died up there. It was believed that anybody that would go up there and try and get to the top would die. The air was too thin. All kinds of reasons why it couldn't. Hillary knew it could. He just didn't know how. And he found Tenzing Norgay. And in 1953, they were the first 2 to do it. Now think of this for a moment. Edison illuminated the entire world. I was flying into London, England some time ago, and you fly in there if you're coming from North America early in the morning. And you know, we broke through the clouds, and as far as you could see, it was just acres and acres of lights. I thought of Edison. Wow, what an idea. He didn't know how, but he did it. Think of those young bicycle mechanics. My goodness, people have been trying to fly as far back in ancient history as you can go. Bicycle mechanics. They just got tired of working on bicycles, and they introduced you and me to a new kingdom. Stop and think of where we would be today if there was no air travel like there is. Wow, what a change. Now, I want you to think of you, and I want you to listen really carefully to me. Don't spend 5 seconds thinking of why you can't, because I know how you can. If you'll decide what you want, think about it. Money, weight, relationships, carry it out from there. Everything's a spin-off from that. Come here. Watch this video over and over and over until you get the next one. And then watch it. I'm going to show you how to do something. And it doesn't matter that you don't know how. Now, that's probably a real foreign idea to your mind, but it's the right one. It's the one the 3% believe in that takes them to the top. They enjoy happiness, health, wealth. You see, you and I are God's highest form of creation. We've got mental faculties that most people know nothing about. School doesn't teach us. I'm going to teach you. 3 videos, it'll wake you up. It'll change your life.